How to know when it's time to break up. Hello everyone, and welcome to One Mail. Yes, I know that breaking up is never an easy decision, but sometimes it's necessary for both parties involved. In this video, I will talk about the signs that show whether or not your relationship is worth saving. So if you're on the fence about whether or not to break up, stick around because this video might help you make a decision. Today's video was inspired by a fan who sent me a lengthy remark, which I will read and evaluate. He stated he found my videos after searching for marriage is not worth it on YouTube. He became an instant fan when he viewed the documentary I made about my introduction to MGTOW. Is this person talking about my life and a 29-year-old man in his last year of medical school? He kept asking himself as he watched the video. He struggled mustering self-assurance throughout his first 2 years of medical school. Because of his constant effort, perhaps, he and his girl started living together as a couple. Since her lease was up, she decided to split the rent with him. Love had blinded him, and he agreed. He found the third year of medical school to be just as challenging as it seemed on TV. Since his fiancée did not contribute to household chores, he was responsible for all of them. He put in 12 to 15-hour shifts at the hospital, 6 or 7 days a week. Despite the increasing unpredictability of her job schedule, the girlfriend never missed a rent payment. She spent money she didn't have on animals and expected him to care for and pay for them. When her problems became too convoluted, she would slice at her thighs. She refused to see a therapist or psychiatrist discuss her issue, opting instead to fill her prescriptions for adrenaline and Xanax. She often bought more Adderall than she needed with the intention of reselling the surplus. Her opiate addiction had escalated to heroin, he discovered. Due to a lack of rental income, he asked her to leave. The two of them fought until she had enough money to pay the rent she owed. She resisted getting help for her drug abuse the whole time. A few months ago, she decided she no longer cared about her scientific degree. Despite being a super senior, she failed freshman chemistry 4 times due to poor study habits. The last time they fought this hard was after they finished making their arrangements. He gave her why she would never be his wife. She was too emotionally volatile. He feels she would have behaved more respectfully if he had called her out on her fat cow behavior. He wasn't implying that she was fat, but you get the point. A few weeks ago, he gave her the option to either pay the rent or end their relationship. His attending physician reprimanded him for abandoning his clinical duties to deal with her departure, but he felt it was justified after explaining his circumstances. In a private conversation, the doctor assured me that he had grasped the situation and would not be reporting their team member to medical school for negligence. Anyone who has worked a full-time job knows that it can be tough to balance everything. You're expected to be at work a certain number of hours each day, but you're also supposed to make time for your family and friends. And if you're a man, you might face an extra set of expectations. Society often tells men that they need to man up and be the breadwinners for their families. But what happens when a man already has a full-time job? Suddenly, he's faced with accusations that he's not spending enough time at home. It's as if society is telling him that he can't have it all. So, next time someone tells a man to man up, maybe we should all stop and think about what we're saying. Perhaps it's time for us to woman up and take responsibility for our emotional baggage. You shouldn't beat yourself up for ending things with your partner. Ending things with your partner can be challenging, but it's important to remember that you shouldn't beat yourself up for it. Sometimes, a relationship isn't meant to be, and that's okay. While it might not feel great at the moment, breaking up with someone can be a full-time positive move. It allows you to focus on yourself and what you want out of life. So next time you feel bad after ending things, remember that it's not the end of the world. It might even be the best thing for you in the long run. I recommend that women like her need to reach rock bottom before they recognize how bad they are, because she's probably a narcissist. She must become indigent or homeless. My buddy says she will live on the streets until she matures. When persons with narcissistic personality disorders fail, they have no one else to blame except themselves, and they begin to look inwardly to discover the faults they've done. A narcissistic personality disorder is a mental disorder that affects women more commonly than men. Individuals with narcissistic personality disorder have an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep need for admiration. They are often preoccupied with success, power, and beauty. They believe they are special and unique and can only be understood by other special people. They require excessive admiration and have a strong sense of entitlement. They are often exploitative of others and are lacking in empathy. Individuals with this disorder frequently fail because they cannot build and maintain healthy relationships. When persons with narcissistic personality disorders fail, they have no one else to blame except themselves, and they begin to look inwardly to discover the faults they've done. This process of looking inward is essential for these individuals because it's the only way to learn from their mistakes and grow as people. Without this willingness to self-reflect, persons with narcissistic personality disorders will continue to experience failures in their lives. Women often never hit rock bottom because society always catches them before they fall too far. I disagree with this assertion for two reasons. First, it discounts the fact that many women experience homelessness and poverty. Second, it perpetuates the false idea that men are more likely to hit rock bottom than women. In reality, both men and women can find themselves struggling with addiction and mental illness, and both groups are equally likely to end up on the streets. The idea that society protects women from hitting rock bottom is not accurate. Another fascinating idea is to speculate on what might occur if people could exist just on their income. No one will be allowed to steal or inherit anything. The question of what would happen if people could only live on their payment has been debated for centuries. Some believe that such a system would lead to a more equal and just society, while others argue that it would create a class of permanent indentured servants. There are a number of compelling arguments on both sides of the issue, but ultimately the question remains unanswered. Nevertheless, it is an intriguing thought experiment that provides food for thought and raises essential questions about the role of money in society. Think about all the ladies living on the streets if they were homeless. You may feel sorry for her and want to be her Captain Save who, since her girlfriends destroyed her life. You were supposed to be the white coat doctor, and I doubt she expected to be thrown out on the street. Women in relationships with men who suddenly break up often feel blindsided. They may have thought they were doing everything right, but the man they were dating saw things differently. In many cases, these women are shocked to learn that their emotional captive has been manipulating them the whole time. They thought they were in control, but it turned out that their partner was playing them like a fiddle. These women need to take a step back and reevaluate their manipulative behavior. They must be honest about their feelings and intentions to avoid being blindsided. Only then will they be able to build healthy, genuine relationships with the people they date. As men, we are often taught to be tough, independent, and self-reliant. We are expected to take care of ourselves and our possessions and to always be in control. While this may be society's ideal of masculinity, it doesn't mean we can't have standards regarding our romantic relationships. Having standards is a sign of strength and self-respect. It shows that we know what we want and are unwilling to settle for anything less. Of course, this doesn't mean we should be rude or disrespectful to our partners. But it is perfectly valid to expect them to meet our standards regarding compatibility, respect, and mutual understanding. After all, we deserve nothing less than the best in our relationships. So set those standards. Your perfect partner is waiting for you. You should look for a few weird signs when getting to know someone new. These strange behaviors could indicate a more significant issue. So it's essential to be cautious. If your potential partner is constantly making excuses, beware. This could be a sign that they're not being 100% honest with you. If they're continually changing the subject or avoiding eye contact. And if they seem to be too good to be true, chances are they probably are. So, trust your gut and pay attention to these warning signs. They could save you from a lot of heartache down the road. I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately. It seems like everywhere you look these days, another article or video talks about feminism and how great it is. But they don't tell you that behind all the flowery language and promises of liberation, there's a dangerous ideology at work that's tearing our society apart. Make sure to check my latest video, where I talked about the dangers of feminism and how it's led to a community where people are delinked from their responsibilities. This topic is really one of my favorites since I know not a lot of men are aware of this. Kindly do check it out. You will be grateful that you did.